How did you end up coming to AEW?
Ooh, it was definitely like right place, right time. It was about 3 weeks before AEW was announced, and I told you I was a bit all-star, and I met Frankie Kazarian. I reffed one of his matches. I actually f***ed up the finish. The foot was on the rope. He was getting the pin. Heel had the foot on the rope, and I didn't see it, so I called for the bell. Saw it, waved it off, and said, nope, we're restarting. And if you ask Frankie, he'll say the match ended up better because the crowd had that like dip and then come back because he's like the baby
Were you
face.
supposed to restart?
No, like I was supposed to catch the foot and not count it, but I totally missed it.
Gotcha. So
so it's 100% on me. Like I
yeah.
f***ed it up, but I did what I could to save it, and it has to be like in the moment. So Frankie like said that he really appreciated it, he liked it, and we had chatted a bit, whatever. And I'm just trying to like get to know people. Like I just want the show to be good, not just my matches. I want the show to be good, so I'm trying to help everyone I can in the back. And Frankie apparently got my name and gave it to the Bucks and Brandy. I ended up seeing him at a show at ECCW, I think it was January 11th. So it was like 2 weeks after AEW gets announced. We were supposed to have Brian Cage, and then Impact pulled a lot of people because their dates got announced, whatever. So Frankie filled in for Brian Cage. I'm like, oh, this is convenient. Okay. So I put together like my resume, promo shots, and matches. I've got an email ready to go. I was like, he doesn't know, but we're going to have this conversation. Yeah. And we show up and he's like, yeah, I need all your stuff. I'm like, oh, good. I'm smart. So we had a match again. He liked it. I sent him all my stuff. And then literally a week later, I was at a Defy show in Seattle. And that was the first one where like the Young Bucks were doing that thing where they show up at a bunch of random indie shows.
Right.
That was the first one that they ended up doing that at. And the match I had was all of SCU versus 3 other guys. So I did a match with all of SCU. I get through the curtain, and then CD immediately offers me Double or Nothing. So it was just like, oh, crap, okay, we're doing this. And it was just the one show. I'm backstage at Double or Nothing. My matches were all done, and Cody's walking around covered in blood, right? And I'm like, hey, man, dope
That's
match.
when we were with Dustin, right?
Yeah, I worked with Dustin. Dustin bled like a gallon or whatever. I see him. I'm like, hey, man, your match was awesome. He goes, thanks, you're doing the next one. I'm like, does he know this is a one-show thing?
Right.
So I had to send that awkward email of like, hey, Cody said this. I don't know what we need to do. And so they brought me on for the next 3. And then my full-time contract was offered to me the day after Fight for the Fallen. So I technically wasn't full-time until after the title match in Chicago. Like the next day, I was officially full-time, even though I'd signed my contract like a month before.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm technically like not a full-time employee as I'm doing that match. It was kind of
It's
crazy.
funny though, because I was once again coming here, and I knew a few people, and there's a lot of people I don't know. So just watching the matches and seeing everybody's vibe. And I remember I said to Cody, like, she's really good, like as a ref, right? And that's when I was thinking, okay, we're doing this title match with Hangman.
Yeah.
I want to have Aubrey, the first ever female ref in a world heavyweight title match.
Yeah.
You know, I thought that's
which is terrifying. I'm not gonna lie, like I was scared in that match. People ask me like what my favorite match is, and they assume it's that one. I'm like, oh no, I was all in my head. I was so worried. It's the first time I'm working with Chris. Turns out you're a cool guy and super easy to work with. But I'm like, I just don't want to fuck up. I'm so nervous. I'm worried I'm going to drop the belt because it's like 40 pounds.
Yeah, it's super heavy.
I was so in my head about that whole thing that I don't think I enjoyed it in the moment. Like watching it back after, I'm like, okay, no, this was good. I'm happy with my performance. I could have done a couple things differently. But yeah, I was nerve-wracked.
But that was, I mean, I thought that was a pretty big deal.
It absolutely was.
If it was WWE, we'd shove it down people's throats to where it's like, oh my gosh. But we didn't have to. We made a point of it. And once again, now we have another main event ref, because that is a thing, a main event ref that works the main events.
It is.
You know?
Yeah, I was like incredibly grateful for that. And honestly, like one of my career goals was to main event a pay-per-view someday.